Welcome to Spill the Mystic Tea. I'm Kerry Waring, and here we talk about all the things that often go unsaid within the spiritual space. And today, it's been a hot minute since I've actually shared my story uh, and how I came to be a mystic, how I came to be a medium, and I really want to share that with you today. So, unlike a lot of people, I'm not going to claim that I actually had any psychic ability as a child. I didn't see spirit. I didn't make psychic premonitions. In fact, I think I was like 18, 19 before I actually had a dream that I can quantifiably say was a psychic premonition. And then not again until I was 26. And at that time, my brother took his own life. And that journey for me, that grief experience, very quickly cracked me wide open, as grief does. It shakes your foundations, gets you questioning everything. And that's what it did for me. I very early on in that experience read a book called The Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield. That was March 1996, and for me, it was this light globe moment where everything just sort of made sense, and I guess what I know now, it's my soul remembering and waking up. And that book, if you haven't read it, is a novel with spiritual messages written into each chapter. So it talks about everything being energy, no such thing as coincidences, all the things that I really needed at the time. From there, I journeyed into exploring things like auras and energy and meditation groups. And remember, this was before John Edward came into our lounge rooms. So I found my way to a spiritualist church. And really, over the course of the next 7 years, I developed my psychic awareness and my psychic abilities and really leaned into those abilities. And for 7 years, I practiced aura readings. And then we moved to 2004, where through connecting with um, a friend, another spiritual teacher at the time, who had already moved into evidential mediumship. So I found myself moving into sitting in those kind of circles where the focus was evidential mediumship and really then expanded into that awareness. And because I didn't have any recognizable psychic experiences before consciously stepping into choosing it, I honestly believe that we are all capable of developing our mediumship. That it is an inherent aspect of the soul and the fact that we are spirit first and foremost before even being human. So, and when we are in that part of ourselves as spirit, we are able to communicate on energetic levels, communicate in new ways. And so while, um, we communicate with each other's energy, we communicate with that of what we sort of see as the spirit world. We communicate with the universe because that's what I've been able to develop over the years. Communication with my higher self. And that's the journey that mediumship has given me. So I guess from those early days of moving into evidential mediumship, it really helped me lay a foundation. I moved into coaching and mentoring others, even for a few years, owning and operating the Australian College of Mediumship. I've written and self published books and really sort of stayed in that space, stayed in that lane of being able to share what it is to live spirit. And I guess, I've channeled things like an oracle card deck, spirit guide wisdom, and really just followed the guidance and explored what living with spirit has meant for me. Now, I guess one of the things that I would say to you is I've needed to allow myself to explore outside of the confines of what we perceive mediumship to be. And we perceive it to be strictly about communicating with loved ones. And yes, that was me too in my early days. But the more and more I worked with spirit, the more and more I needed to grow and um, really listen to what the guidance was coming through and who I needed to be. It's expanded beyond that. And my soul has a natural remembrance to, um, I guess, being spirit, to living spirit. And what does that mean in connection to everyday energies that we experience here in our human world? What does it mean in my relationship to nature? What does it mean in my relationship to my body? What does it mean in my relationship to other people, to my business, to money, to all of those things? But all of that for me is supported by my mediumship and my connection to the flow of spirit in my life. It's my mediumship that gives me access to guidance, to spiritual wisdom, to a heightened and fine tuned level of intuition and awareness. The ability to question all of that in real time and use it day to day in making decisions and navigating life. So that's my position on mediumship. That's where I really, really feel that when we open up to mediumship, and everyone, absolutely, I will say it again, everyone has the ability to do this. The only people I've ever seen struggle are the people that have been hurt so much that they really are challenged to open their heart. But when you are setting that intention and really exploring your connection to spirit and what it means, and activating that connection in your world, then evidential medium becomes a really great foundational basis, because focusing there allows you to get more specific, to really fine tune the information that you can harness, to build well-rounded experiences, and if you decide to do the work publicly, it builds credibility. Saying that, I wouldn't say we are all meant to be doing readings. We are not all meant to be on the world stage doing mediumship readings and being John Edward. That's not our purpose. We all have our own unique purpose with it, and you normally can look to your life themes to see what that purpose is. So, I don't know. I don't know about you, but I wanna see more and more mediums in the world. I wanna see the evolution of mediumship. I wanna see you open yourself up to what the truth of your connection to spirit is. Excuse me. We're spilling the tea, remember? And I want you to do it in a way that is right for you, not that you've actually taken on someone else's thoughts, someone else's belief. Because if I say to you honestly, what the spiritual space has taught us to do is to connect to spirit. Now it's time for us to learn how to actually be spirit.